Okay, so yesterday we learned about JavaScript language basics. In that, we learned about variables, right? Variables. And in variables, while working with variables, we learned so what is difference, what is declaring, what is assigning, what is initialization, and what is difference between let, var, and const. We discussed about what is hoisting, what is shadowing, and how to define global variables. So how to define global variable in function. For that we have to use which object? Window. These are all basic things we discussed yesterday. So after understanding these points, some more points are there. Global variables you learned. One more important thing you need to know is variable naming. So variable naming conventions. What are the variable naming conventions? These are the basic. So yesterday we learned all those things, and today we will see one more option about variable is variable naming. Variable naming means what are the rules for giving a name for variable? We have to follow certain rules. So variable name must start with alphabet or underscore. Variable name must start with alphabet or underscore. It's mandatory. That means if I say variable as user name, that is okay. Variable underscore username, that is also okay. Suppose I have variable as 2021 sales. This is invalid. So variable name can be alphanumeric. That means sales 2021. This is valid, but it should not start with number. So variable name must not start with number. It can be with alphabet or underscore. In between, so no spaces. Where sales 2021, this is invalid. No spaces. Where sales dot 2021, this is also invalid. No dots. So where sales dollar 2021, this is also invalid. No special characters. So you can give, so you can give where sales underscore 2021, that is valid. While giving the variable names, you must use this. You can have like this. So variable names, we have to define either with underscore or alphabet. Another important is, if anybody asks like why to use variable name with underscore, starting with underscore, why it is special, what is that? Actually, underscore intention is traditionally, so the special character underscore, the special character underscore is used to indicate that variable not implemented. That means it requires further implementation. That means the use of underscore in the beginning is traditionally to tell that this variable is not completely defined, so it is incomplete. So there are some more rules to define for this variable in future, in further stages. Then we mark that with underscore. That means developers have an habit of telling other developers in the project that this needs implementation. So for that, they use this underscore in the beginning of variable name to tell the developers that this is not finished. This requires some more implementations. This requires some more configurations. Those I will show you how we can implement them. In further examples, we are going to see that. So underscore intention is that. Another important is variable name cannot exceed more than 255 characters as per the standards. The length of variable name can be maximum up to 255 characters. It cannot exceed more than 255 characters as per the standards. So lengthy variable names are okay, it will work. But generally, I told you minification. When we use minification, the lengthy names are cropped. They will be made into short names. So as per standards, don't give more than 255 characters. So that is not good for browsers. All browsers can't understand because every browser have different memory. For example, you might have heard that some people tell, if your internet is slow working, use some Safari browser, it will be fast. Use Opera browser, it will be fast. Changing my browser will not change my internet speed. I am using 5 Mbps per second, right? It will be 5 Mbps only in any browser. But every browser have different memory size. Maximum memory is supported for a browser called Firefox. Firefox have a lot of memory. Opera is also. These two browsers, because they can handle a lot of memory, they can pull data in large amount and can show at a time. That looks like it is fast, but actually it is not fast. You are watching more content on screen. That's it. So technically, when you are using such browsers, lengthy names are accepted. Because if you remembered, I told you, what is the maximum length of query string? What is the maximum length of query string? So if you post any data on GET request, data will be in query string. Remember, no? Data, when you post, it will be in query string. How many characters maximum a query string will accept? 5-10 years back we learned just one to only, na? Forget 2048 characters. We discussed a difference between get and post, na? Remember, we discussed get and post. We said that get request will submit data in URL. Maximum length, there is a limit for data. The limit is 2048 characters. right? Actually, due to that, what happens is every browser has different length memory. So you can give any lengthy variable name, but according to ECMA standards, don't go more than 255 characters. That is the standard limit for variables. So that is one important. Another point is, so don't use language keywords for variable names, for variable name. Language keywords for variable name. Language keywords you should not use for variable names. Language have some keywords. So like we have if, like we have else, we have like class, we have like this. Such keywords you should not use for variables. That means you should not write like where class is equal to, so UI something like this, right? Your intention is good, class is UI, but class is already a keyword, so you cannot use such keywords. That is not good. So it will not take. So these keywords you have to ignore, like so where object is equal to some object, but object is already a keyword actually. So such things you should not use. So these are keywords. Variable names, avoid keywords. We should not use keywords. That is important. Another important point is, already we discussed that scope based problems will come, where LET scope based problems will come. That is the reason whenever you give variable name, so always variable must speak what it is. A variable must speak what it is. That means people have an habit, like for example, suppose where EMP is equal to new employee. Like this we write general. While teaching we write like this. This is not good. This is not good. This type of references are not good. So generally, so we say prod is equal to new product, like this. We write like this. These are not good. These names are not good. Like while writing programs, you write where x equal to some 100, x, y, z. These are all not good. They are okay while learning. While learning, you can use these names, but these are not good. These are not good. In real world projects, a variable must speak what it is. That means we write where employee is equal to new employee. This is how we need to define. Where product is equal to new product, like this. Suppose where suppose I defined as temporary employee is equal to new temporary employee, like this. We have to write like this. That means a variable must correctly speak what purpose it is being used for. And don't get confused here. Suppose see, if I write this E uppercase, that is wrong. Why? Because my reference name is same as the allocation of memory. That is wrong. Capitalization change. You have to use camel case. Already I told you camel case. Na? Camel case means it starts with lowercase. In between it will have an uppercase. So your names in real world projects for variables must be like this. So they don't entertain some shortcuts. So they will always get rejection in the code. That means the testing team people will reject that code, say that this is not correct. So you need to correct the names. That means a variable must speak what it is. You should not think that it is lengthy, because you don't care about lengthy. Minification will take care. You don't take care about these shortcut things, right? That is why we use minification, right? You write in a proper standard way. The minification tools will take care about making it shorter as much as possible. They will take care. So you just write as per the standards so that other developers can easily understand, right? So generally people have a habit like where obj is equal to new product, something like this. Now, if any developer is using this obj, he's confused. This obj belongs to whom? Right? So that means he is not the person who developed that class. Somebody designed it, he is using it. Then he need to put an extra effort to understand from which class it is derived from. Right? These type of things we need to avoid. While learning, okay. While learning, people teach you like this only. Shortcuts. X equal to 10, Y equal to 20. That's okay. But in real world development, you should put the variable names according to the context. Context based names correctly you have to give. Right. So these are all variable naming conventions. So we learned all the points about variables, how to declare variables, how to initialize variables, how to assign values to variables, the scope of variables, function scope variables, block scope variables, global variables in function, naming the variables and all. Now next important, you need to know data types. This is very important, data types. So JavaScript data types. Technically, first you need to understand. So clearly, generally if you ask what is data type, so any person who have little bit programming knowledge in C, Java and other things and all, when you ask a question what is data type, he have one answer regularly ready, and that answer is, he will say that data type tells what type of data we can store in a variable, what type of data we can store. That's okay, good, but not great. Why? Because data type is not only about what type of data you can store. Actually, data type is nothing but technically data type defines data structure. It defines data structure. Technically, data type defines data structure. Data structure means not only what type of data, so what range of data. That means how much you can store. That means the size of data also determined. That means data type determines the size and the type of data. Data type determines the size and type of data. Data structures are very important, especially people when they are dealing with memory based. Data structure is a very big concept, very important thing. For example, people learn various languages like C language, Java and all such, C++ and all. In those languages, they have a separate topic called data structures. So sometimes some people ignore. General people who are learning C language, they will learn only C language. Now, an engineering student comes and says that we need C with data structure, because he needs more to deal about the memories to handle embedded systems like devices. To handle embedded systems like devices, That means he need to build embedded systems, IoT. So then he need to deal more with memory and machines, hardware. In that case, what language he learned is, so just interacting with the software. But now to interact with hardware in depth, he need the data structure to know correctly. Otherwise, he can't do that. That is the reason Python and all such things requires machine learnings, requires data structures very much. Data structures, algorithms, these are very complex, right? If you are not good in that, you can't handle interaction with devices, hardware devices. That is the reason majority of people, they ignore that part, because that is not for everybody. Only for few people who are involved in such development, they need data structure very strongly. Otherwise not. So in general programming, data type is about not only the type of data, but also the size. That means how much I can store. Not only size, also its behavior. How it behaves, how the data structure behaves. Behavior also important. Based on behavior only, data types are classified into two types. Data types are classified into two types. We have primitive types. Number one, primitive data types, and non-primitive types. Non-primitive data types. So this is based on behavior. Based on the behavior, data types are classified into two types. We have primitive data types and non-primitive data types. So that is the reason data type is not just about what type of data it is. It is about its size, it is about its behavior. For example, what are primitive types? Primitive data types. So first we need to know the primitive data types. What are these primitive data types? So first important is, generally primitive types are immutable types. Immutable types. Primitive types are immutable types. Immutable means their structure will not change. Their structure will not change. That means they have fixed range for value. Fixed range for value. So that means value range cannot change. These are primitive types actually. Primitive types are immutable types. Immutable types means they have a fixed structure, and that fixed structure will never change at all. Wherever you go, they have to work with that fixed structure, and it cannot change dynamically. Will not change dynamically. It have a fixed structure. So, and actually, so primitive types, they use memory stack. They use memory stack. So actually stack uses last in first out mechanism. Last in first out. Stack uses last in first out mechanism. Last in first out mechanism. So the last value that goes in, that is the first value that comes out. That is the stack mechanism. So I will show you. So the primitive types, actually JavaScript primitive types. JavaScript primitive types are, in JavaScript, the primitive types, we have a number, we have a string, we have Boolean, we have null, and we have undefined. These are all the primitive types. That is primitive types. I will tell you this point here. We will see why the structure cannot be changed. That's the concept actual. You see, suppose one by one we will discuss numbers and all. First, I will show you the point here. See, suppose I am trying to store some in this page in the script. Okay, so here we have a variable where some x equal to 10. That means it's number. So the question, if anybody asks like, how much number I can store in x? Is there any limit for storing a number inside it? Yes, we have a limit because it's a primitive type. It have limit. Every primitive type will have limit. Will have limit. Will have minimum, maximum, range, fixed size they have, and it cannot change. The size cannot change. It's fixed. So that is why they are immutable. That means if anybody asks like, okay, tell me maximum how much number I can store. You can see this document, right? I will show you here minimum number. So we can get that by using number dot min safe integer, and max is equal to, so number dot max safe integer, and you can see this is actually the minimum and maximum number range in JavaScript minus that value to plus. So that is the range of number. If anybody asks like, can I store higher number than this? No, you can't. It's not possible. It's not possible. You cannot store. So that means a higher number than this, not possible. It can't handle. So can I handle a lower number than this? You can't. For example, in another situation, I want not this much lengthy number, only a shorter number. It's okay. You use shorter number, but its range will be this much only. That means you use shorter number. It doesn't matter for it. Its range is this, fix it. You use a shorter number, your wish, right? So the point here is, this is fixed for number. You cannot store more than that, right? That is range. Everything have range. For example, suppose even string also. For example, suppose I will tell you numbers and strings. We will discuss about them detailedly. Suppose I am writing like some welcome. This is string. This is string. Now, if anybody asks like, string also will have range. That means how many characters I can store. How many characters I can store? Do you have a range? So of course it also have a range. Also have a range. For example, the range is nothing but you are using this value should be stored in your computer temporary memory. This must be stored in your computer memory. Which memory? It must be stored in your cache memory. Cache memory means what? RAM. It must be stored in your RAM, right? How much RAM you have? 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, like this you have. Now you are using a 4 GB RAM computer. Can you store 10 GB string in memory? Not possible. There is no Unlimited. You have fixed range. That means you are using 4 GB RAM, 4 GB only. You, in your temporary memory, you can handle 4 GB only. That means there is a range. That means for string also, we have a range. And actually, as per the program standards, string range is 2 GB only. That means you can store 2 GB string. That is also from latest JavaScript versions. From ES7 onwards, they increased the size. Earlier, it was only 1.4 GB. 1.4 GB. Very recently, with the latest versions, they increased that size. Right? That maximum you can handle 2 GB. That means they have fixed range for values. That is why we call them as primitive types. That means if anybody asks, like, can I change the range? You can't change the range. That's it. Fix it. That is a fixed range. Value range cannot change. It have a fixed range for value. Structure will not change. Then obviously it is called as immutable. Immutable means it cannot change its structure, not value. So not value. So sometimes people say that value cannot change. No, value can change. Value range cannot change. Right? That is about the structure. These are primitive types. So what are the primitive types we are having? Number, string, null, boolean, and all. And very important here. So the note is JavaScript is not strongly typed. Not strongly typed. It is implicitly typed. Implicitly typed. JavaScript is not strongly typed. It is implicitly typed. Then obviously this also a problem. Implicitly typed means the problem with JavaScript is it cannot restrict the values to a specific data type. So that means, for example, suppose var x equal to 10. Then here x is number. X is number. After that, into x I stored some John. Then x will automatically changes to string. It changes. So there is no restriction. This is problem with JavaScript. So it is not strongly typed. That means automatically the data type will change for variable according to value assigned. Which value you assign, according to that it will change. Then that is the reason JavaScript developer have to extra write logic and validation for verifying values. You ask it to enter age. He can enter a number, he can enter a string, he can enter a boolean, everything accepted. That is the reason JavaScript developers have to extra write validation for type verification. Is it number? Is it string? We have to verify and store. So whereas other programming language people don't have this problem because they have strongly typed nature. In other programming languages, they will say that integer x means it can store only integer number. So that is good. So, but JavaScript don't have that ability. Due to that, it is implicitly typed. It will change. For example, see, here I am writing var x equal to 10, document dot write. So I am just printing x is, and here type of x. Just I am showing you a sample, and it says that x is number. X is number. Now what I am doing here, I am assigning, not redeclaring. I am assigning something inside it. Then it works with last in first out mechanism. That means it will take the last value that goes in. Then automatically its type will be string. its type will be string. And later, if I send some true into it, automatically its type will be Boolean. It changes. That is not good. So for that, we need to write validations to verify the value is according to requirement or not and define it. So that is the problem with JavaScript. So we don't have any specific limitation for types. You can handle any type, but it can be either number or string or Boolean or null or undefined in primitive types. So first we will see number means what are allowed. Number type. We will see number types. So number type. So number type means in JavaScript, actually JavaScript number type refers to so many. It can be signed integer, unsigned integer. It can be signed integer, it can be unsigned integer, it can be floating point value, it can be double, it can be decimal, it can be exponent, it can be binary, it can be octa, it can be hexa. This all comes under that category. These all are considered as numbers. These are all considered as numbers. A number type can be anything. Signed integer means signed integers are like -10. That means a sign will be there. Negative sign, positive sign. They are called signed integers. Unsigned integer means always positive, 10. Floating point means so fractions up to maximum 2 decimal places, and up to maximum 2 integer values. If it is more than 2 integer value, and if it is so fractions more than 2 integer value means it is considered as a double. Double means more than 2 integer value, it is considered as double. So, or if it is more than 2 fractions also, it is considered as double. That means up to 2 only it is considered as a float, and more than 2 integers or more than 2 fractions, then it is considered as double. And very important, if it is more than 4, so more than 3, if it is more than 3, so then it is considered as decimal. If it is more than 3, it is decimal. If it is more than 3, that is suppose 45 and more than 3, then this is called decimal. That is more than 3 decimal. And actually other programming languages, maximum they support decimal fractions 7 or 8. Decimal fraction numbers 7 or 8. But JavaScript supports 29 decimal places. JavaScript supports 29 decimal places. 29 decimal places. So that means what is advantage of having so many decimal places? So advantage of having so many decimal places, accurate values. It can show accurate values. So accurate values can be displayed. with the decimal. But all these comes under one category only, that is number. So that means actually here in X, so this is number. You can see it says X is currently number. So it can be a signed integer. So signed means I will give some minus 20, and you can see it is still number. It can be floating point. So up to 2 decimal places, it is considered as floating point. It is still number only. I am not printing the value. I am printing only, let's print the value also. So X, I am not printing the value actually. I am printing only data type. This is also number. And they are all number, but technically developer will call them as float, double, decimal, all under one category only. Data type is one. Data type is number. So here decimal places, you can see I am giving more than 8 decimal places. Generally other programming languages maximum 8. After that they round the value to the nearest value, they will round. So but here you can see it shows that value exact. Any lengthy value it can display. So 29 decimal places it will support, so no problem. So accurate values will come here. So these are all number type. Even exponent is number. Exponent is written like this, 2e3. 2e3. This is actually 2 into 10 to the power of 3. 3 write as power. 3 is power. 10 to the power of 3. That means it will be 2000. 2 into 10 to the power of 3. So E is not a string. If you are writing with E combination, then it is an exponent type. Exponent type. And exponent types so are defined as number only. You can see, suppose I written like 2e3. 2e3. This is also number only. This is also number, and it is 2000. So this is not a string, that is also a number. So exponents are defined by using this number type. Binary also number. Binary also number. Binary usually will have B. So 0B, 1010 like this. Octa is also number. Usually octa will have like so 00742 something like this. Octa will have O. Hexa you already know. Hexa already we learned. Hexa have numbers like F, D, am I right? What is the range of hexa? Range of hexa is 0 to F. 0 to F. That means it can have like 0, F, D, D. Where to use these hexa already we know. So colors, color combination. Okay, so let's see. So these are all number types. These are all number types, how we can handle the numbers. So hexa, octa, binary, you will see in programs, we will see how to handle them. But they also comes under the category of, number only. So see here, I am writing like some 0B1010. That is binary of 10. So that is also number. It uses the character B. So that means it uses the binary 10. These are all under number type. So these all are configured under number type. So number means this. And we don't have any restrictions. So don't think about restrictions. So restrictions we have to do manually. That means JavaScript cannot restrict a value. JavaScript will take any value into the reference. Then what we have to do is, so JavaScript uses is NaN. JavaScript uses is NaN method to verify the number type. JavaScript uses is NaN method to verify the number type. So it cannot internally verify because it is open to any data type. You can store any type of value. We have to manually do that by using isNaN method. IsNaN is not a number. So for example, suppose here we are asking for var age is equal to prompt. I said enter age. And here we are printing document.write. So the age is equal to whatever age. So temporarily I will keep like this. So age is equal to whatever age is. Now we want to restrict it to number. Currently there is no restriction. It will allow anything. Enter age. I entered some AF. It is taking. Then what we have to do is we have to manually write if is NaN. Is NaN. Who is NaN? Age. That means if age is not a number, then what should happen? If age is not a number, then put a message document.write. So age, please enter in numeric value. So numeric value. Please enter a numeric value. Else it should able to handle this. Else it should able to access and use this age. That's how it should work. Here temporarily I written a simple if condition for this. So now when user enters any value into it, here I entered some 22. So then say 22. I entered some string. So then it says please enter a numeric value. That's how we have to verify. Other programming languages don't have this problem, which are strongly typed. Every programming language is not strongly typed. But any programming language which is strongly typed, they can restrict internally. We don't need additional methods. They will automatically throw exception saying that it is invalid value. Type is not matching. But here we need to handle that everything externally and configure it. That means explicitly we need to define. Explicitly we need to configure, right? So that is done by using isNaN. So syntactically we define like this. If isNaN and some value, then we put some condition, some message. That is syntax. If isNaN value, it will do that. This is a simple example for dealing with number. This is an example. This is number type, how we can configure the numbers. One more important option is while working with numbers, you need to know about JavaScript cannot identify a numeric value, in a string format. You have to explicitly convert into number. You have to explicitly convert into number. So by using following methods, we have two important methods. So we have a parse int and we have parse float. These are the methods. By using these methods, we need to convert into. This problem will come. JavaScript cannot identify numeric value in string format. Because this problem you will face regularly, especially when you are collecting data from form elements. They cannot provide in the form of number only. Right? For example, suppose I given one small point here, see example like this. Let's create here doc type HTML head title, some data types. Okay. In the body, I given a data list, data term, select age, and the data definition. I have select. A drop down is there. In that, usually drop down will have a value. Value is some 15 and text is 15. And option here, the value is some 20. So it is 20 like this. We define some option. So value is 25 and this is 25. Now here we need to do some manipulation on that and return the value. I will use a button also temporarily and say submit. Okay, so on click, that means when submit is clicked, submit click function will be called. Okay, so here I want to write a script and function is submit click. Okay, in that submit click function, we are collecting where age is equal to document dot. We will put an ID as lst age. So document dot get element by ID. How we can access lst age dot value. And here we need to print. So document dot write. So here you will be some age plus 1. Here age plus 1. So plus next year. Something like this we are writing. One, we are adding to that age and we are displaying that message. Now here we are trying to handle that. And you see here age I selected and click on submit. It will be C201. Because whatever you entered from a drop down, it will take as a string, even if it is a number. Then string 20 will concatenate with 1. That means 201. It is not addition. It is combining, concatenation. This is very common. So because already I told you that whatever you enter, it is a string. So value cannot be anything. Any value from a form element is string only. You send through a text box, it is string. Through a drop down, it is string. Anything you send in HTML, every value is string only. So then we need to convert this and use it. We need to convert and use it. So I will put this button outside. Okay. So we need to convert this value. Then here, what we have to do is we have to say this age should be converted into number. Then we have to use a method parse int. Parse int, and the number is so age. It is age. Actually, the age is coming in a string form, which is now converted into number. Then it is added. This is very much required. If you are dealing with a fractions dot, so some 2, 4, then don't use parse int, because parse int will not use fractions. It will round to integer. Then use parse float. You have to use parse float. Here parse int, okay. Now when I select this here and click submit, it is fine now. That means it is able to handle that and display. Otherwise, it is concatenating. It is not treating as a number. This is a very regular problem with HTML. 100 to 100%, whatever value you take from a HTML element, it will be string. You have to convert into numbers and booleans or string or any another type if required explicitly. For that, we need these parsing techniques. So syntactically, so we have where age is equal to some 20 like this. And here, if I print document.write, so age plus 1, then it will print 201. So we have to print in this way. Document.write parse int age plus 1. So like this we have to print. So then this will be 21. That is the example we designed here. So while working with numbers, you must have this basic idea first. Whether it is allowing or not, everything configured or not, like this. So we need to explicitly manage them, explicitly manage the operations. So that is number type, how we can deal with the numbers. One more point is there. While converting, point here is, okay, so here, if I define this as var c is equal to parse int a and plus b. So here, that string contains number and alphabet. So you are trying to convert it. Is it a correct conversion? Because it is not just only number, it is a number with alphabet. So yes, it is a correct conversion. The result will be 30. Result will be 30. That means the parsing technique is able to read a number in a string format. But if it is starting with number, up to the number occurrence, it will read. Once string comes, it stops. In that case, what happens is, if a is equal to like AB10, then this is invalid. This is invalid. But if it is starting with, suppose if A is equal to 10 AB20, then it will take 10. In the conversion, it will take 10. That means in a string, when a numeric is passed, if it is starting with numeric, parse can start reading it. And up to the string occurrence, it can read. Once the string occurrence comes, it will stop. String occurrence comes, it will stop. So that is the ability of conversion technique. You can see here. Suppose here I am using the conversion technique .html. Okay. So here let's see that point script, and where a is equal to 10ab and where b is equal to 20, and document dot write here parse int a plus b, and obviously it should show the result and display. It's working fine. That means it is able to convert that. Suppose it is starting with AB and have 20. Now this is not valid. It will return not a number. Not a number. But if it is starting with number, it have a string. So, and it have again a number. Then it will not take 30. It will take only 20. After that, one string started, it stops. So that means now this is also valid. This is also valid, but it will be 30. That means it will be 20 and 20. That is how the conversions are recognized. So that is what the point you have to know. So this is very regular actually. Why? Because why these all consequences you should know is general in interviews for freshers in test, local small companies, small scale companies, they will just give you programs. But MNC interview questions will be different. When you are attending as a UI developer in any MNC, so you have to go through JavaScript test, written test. And in that, so there will be objective type questions, choices and all. And in that, they will give one program and they ask what is output for this. They will give one syntax and they will say that find out problem in this syntax. They will give one syntax and they will say that what will be the result of this syntax. Is it a valid syntax? Then valid, what will be the result? If invalid, why? That is the reason at MNC level, people, majority, 90% UI freshers fail. MNC, you can't crack easily until or unless you know all these consequences. You know all these consequences. People ignore all this in general JavaScript learning. So in MNCs, this is where majority of concentration happens. That means because at MNC level problem is a developer must able to identify where the problem occurred in a project. And he can do that only when he knows all the consequences. Right? So small level, small scale level, they don't do that much in depth of scrutiny on you. But MNC is mandatory. Mandatory. They have to check in this way. That is the reason we have to handle various things. For example, you will get a question like 10 plus true, how much? Generally, people who don't know anything about JavaScript, he will say, what is this? This is wrong. But actually in JavaScript, it is 11. And you can't expect that until or unless you learned it. Right? These type of points are very much important. Right? That is the reason we need to know these consequences. We need to know these consequences. So suppose if you write here, A is 10 and B is true and A plus B. You don't need a conversion, but A plus B will be 11. So you need to know these consequences. Otherwise, you will fail 100%. That is the basic thing you need to do while working with these types. This is all about number, how we can handle a number, what type of values you can store, and how to convert, how to verify, right? Next important in the data types, we have string type. We have string type. In the data types, we have a string type. String type. Actually, what is string? String is nothing but string is a literal with group of characters, enclosed in single quote, double quote, and backtick. Three types of string representations are there. Backtick is from ES5. JavaScript ES5 and higher version, backtick is available. So that is quotes here. Single quote, double quote, backtick. That is the types. So string is a literal with group of characters. Now the actual point is, so single quote is this one. So single quote is single quotations. Single quote is this. Double quote is this. And backtick is this. That is backtick. You will have backtick under tilde key. That means you have a tilde key on keyboard. Under that you will have that backtick. What is difference? If you remembered already, single quote, double quote difference I told you. When we learned about HTML attributes, I told you already. I told you that outer string is written in double quote, inner string is written in single quote. Or you can swap. So you can put outer string in single quote, inner string in double quote. So we discussed that. Already we know it, right? But string representation have problem while dealing with expressions. What is problem is, see the previous example. Suppose here I am writing, so a message I have to write. I have to write a message. I will put var message is equal to, I will put in a double quote. First, I will take username also. Then I will put var username is equal to, so that is also taken from a prompt. So here we will define prompt and we will enter here. So that is enter name, enter your name. Fine. And age is selected from drop down and name is entered through prompt. We have two things. Now I want to display message hello and that person name. Then we have to concatenate, because now we need to get the value from a variable to a string. We need to concatenate. Then we have to put a plus the variable name. Variable name is username. After that, I want to continue the string. Then again plus. And here I am writing you will be. After that, I need to put again concatenation. Now expression. Expression is nothing but age plus 1. That means again you have to put a parenthesis. In that what? Parse int. What is it? Age plus 1. And after that again string. Then again plus concatenation next year. I am writing like this. This is the string I created. I will keep this as MSG1, message 1. This is the string we are having. This is the string we are having. And I want to print it. Document.write MSG1. That is printed. Okay, let's see. It is printed. Here you see. Let's run this. It will ask the prompt here. And to ask the prompt, we have to put one more. On submit click. On submit click, it will ask the prompt. Enter name. I will enter some name. And I clicked OK. So actually first what it will do is you will be 16 next year. Generally, see, I selected 20 and click on submit, enter name, and I click OK. It will be OK, but not satisfying. So there is no space between hello and name. After name, there is no space. So, and you see the string looks very complicated. Lot of concatenations before, after. Space, you should not write space like this. See, after hello, you should not write space like this. It will come, but not recommended. Why? Because these are called leading spaces. Leading spaces means the spaces after the word, before the word. Those leading spaces will be trimmed by JavaScript in future. When you are dynamically reading the strings, we trim the leading spaces. Then they will be deleted anyhow. That is the reason developers will give a space also manually. How? We will put a plus mark. After that, a space like this. Empty quotes. After that, after username, again plus, again space. And after this, you will be, again plus, and again space. And after this, again plus, and again space. Now that looks better. Now after that, I will put at the end BR. BR will a line break. Now you see here, I selected age and submit. I entered some name. Okay. Now it looks better. That looks better. But this is very complex string. To simplify this, lot of bindings, expressions and all. To simplify this, in the latest versions, they have introduced, I will write var MSG2. They introduced backtick. What is speciality of backtick? Backtick allows embedded expressions. Embedded expression. You can embed expression in a string, which is not allowed in others. In double quote, in single quote, expression embedded is not allowed. Only backtick allows embedded expression. That means here we can write like this. Hello. Okay. After that, you casually write your string. Wherever you need a dynamic value expression, you have to put $curly brace. You don't need any concatenations. $curly brace. That is JavaScript expression. Remember, this is not allowed in single quote. This is not allowed in double quote. Suppose in double quote or single quote, I write $, it will be printed. It is not expression. So here we have to write this. Okay, what is it? Username. After that, continue your string. So you will be again expression. In this expression, we have to use parse int age plus 1 and next year. This looks better. Now I am adding like this. So this is another string. So one string is this much lengthy with so much complications. Another string is this much simple. Now I will print the message 2 also. So var document.write MSG2. Both messages I am printing. One with an ordinary string and another one with an So backtick. And I select age and submit, enter name, and okay, both look same. But the second string is better. Now, many times, so you should be very careful. People come with single quote and they will say that, sir, expression not working. In single quote, double quote, expression will not work. Make sure that you are using a backtick. So what is the specialty here? That means single and double quote are used to configure inner and outer string combination. That means suppose I defined where link is equal to A. So this is how we are writing. Actually, A uses href. In that again single quote, home.html, and here we defined home and close A. Like this we did. So if outer string is double quote, inner string in single quote. If outer string is in single quote, inner string double quote, because we cannot use that again. Again, double quote you cannot use in double quote. That is. And backtick allows a string with embedded expression. So dollar curly brace, that is embedded expression. So that is called actually dollar curly brace is called data binding expression. Data binding expression. Data binding expression. That is data binding expression. Fine. So example, I will show this. This I will copy. So here we are printing the output in the same way, right? So these are two types. One is number type, another one is an string type. How we can handle. Now one more point is, while working with strings, so a very important problem is escape sequence issues. So that means actually special characters in a string can escape printing. You have to print the non-printable characters by using slash. You have to print the non-printable characters by using slash. This issue will come regularly. That means when you are writing a string, some characters escape. They don't print exactly how you are expecting. Then to print the non-printable characters, we have to use an escape sequence character. That is actually slash. In other programming languages, you will have so many escape sequences. Actually, slash n for new line in console, not here. In console, when you are printing in console, to print in a new line, you have to use slash n. To print in a new line in HTML page, then we have to use BR only. New line in HTML. Only in console, you have to use that slash n. Now, what is this point of ignoring? That means how it will ignore the case. See, for example, now I am defining. This is the sample. Okay. Here I am defining some path. So where image path. is equal to I written D colon slash images slash some pics. So assets, something assets. So slash some name. Suppose I given as electronics, or say some phone mobile dot jpg, something like this I written. And I am printing document dot write image path. I am printing that image path, but you will see that the path will be wrong. That means the special characters like slash is missing, because compiler have a separate work for slash and it thinks that slash is doing it. So it escapes it printing. Then what we have to do is, if any character is escaping, you have to put a slash before it. Any character, not only slash. So if any character escaping, put a slash before it. 3 slashes are escaping, we will put a slash before it. And you can see that, and it is going to print that correctly. For example, I am placing here a quotation. That will not possible. So here at the end, I am giving another quotation. It's not possible. But our intention is to print that quotation, then put a slash before it. And here also slash before it. Then it can print that quotation. That means it will not escape. So any character, if it is escaping printing, it is unable to print, put a slash. That already we learned, if you remembered in HTML meta characters, I told you, regular expression. While building the regular expression, we already done that. Suppose in regular expression, we are writing plus. Our intention is to print plus, but plus is one or more occurrences. But then we have to do what? You know already, we have to put a slash. Already we used that escape sequence, right, while writing the expressions and all. So this is one important. So this is a simple example of how the expression works. This is string type, how we can deal with these two, string and another. Now, once we are done with this, now the other data types we will see. So we have Boolean types, undefined types, and null. With that, now we will design one example with these data types, how to handle one example we will design after knowing it, right? That we'll see in our next session, right? And next session, no session tomorrow. And again, our session will be Monday. But tomorrow you will have a test online. I will send a test paper so into the Google Classroom. And tomorrow you have to attempt that test till the topics we have finished up to now, right? So I will conduct a online test for that. I will send that into the Google Classroom. You have to submit it. Okay. So by Monday, you have to submit, right? And Monday we will continue with this, right? Because I told you, I will scrutinize some people now, because companies are coming now, they are ready. So you can attempt few interviews, and based on these tests, I will frequently conduct now. Alternatively, based on that, I can push those people who are doing good little better now, so to those interviews, so that you can try from now onwards, right? So then tomorrow no session, Monday will continue. Okay, right.